Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. I always struggle with where I'm from. These are the two projects I'm going to be showcasing today. But let's just come up here so that you can actually see me. Hi, everybody. What a day. It's been one of those days, and I completely forgot, as you probably guessed, that I hadn't advertised it this morning, because normally I do that the night before. So I'm just checking the comments. So if you are watching, leave a comment and let me know where you're watching from, and feel free to ask any questions or anything as we go through the tutorial tonight. So tonight I am showcasing some probably, I don't know, there are a lot of firsts into my order from the new annual catalogue, but I think these were very, very close because I was so excited to see masks back, because they were in the Christmas catalogue and I loved them. This time they have brought back a different version of them, and I'll just put you down to my craft desk so you can see what I'm talking about. So these are the two cards. They're both using the decorative masks, which the decorative masks come like this. They're numbered. They've got little notches out, and I'll show you how to use these because they're really, really easy to use, but they can be a little intimidating if you haven't seen how they work. So, and I'm also using, I'm just grabbing all my stuff off my desk, the Enduring Beauty stamp set, which I've used on here. Didn't use it on here, and I'll show you how I did this one. Haven't used any stamp set on this at all. And I've also, this comes with dies. They're fairly simple dies, very easy to use. And I do have a card where I have used the dies sitting on my desk somewhere over here. So this is the simplest way you can use that stamp set, is hopefully you can see, oops, we'll drop that down just a bit. I'm just seeing everyone's comments. I got a little sidetracked. All I've done is stamp this in wild wheat. I've put it on an embossed background, which you can just see. I'm not real good at leaving plain spaces. And then, so this is Old Olive, and I've added it to some Blackberry Bliss, which was one of my favourite colours a couple of seasons ago. Haven't used it for ages. And I'm not sure you'll be able to see, but I added just a little tiny bit of wild wheat shading on those flowers, just to make it pop a little bit. So this would be the simplest card. And I've just added a simple sentiment. And let's have a look at your comments. I'm going to clear up my desk just a bit so I can actually show you in the catalogue where these products are. So hi Myrtle, hi Glenda. I'm on the right site tonight and can even make a comment. Thank you. Glenda, and hi Kirsty. I think you'll like this set. Now, I'm pretty sure it's page 38. It is. So this is the page. So it's on page 38 of the mini catalogue, January to April. And you can see they've got some really, the masks are here. And really, it looks uninspiring. But as soon as you can see what you can actually do with these, you'll be blown away. I can't wait to share with you. And I mean, there's so many different ways that you can use them. And I'm also showcasing, well, I didn't mean to showcase. I've just dropped something in water, so I'm going to clean up my desk. Got my shimmer here somewhere. Don't know how I did that, but I'm sure it'll happen again. Is I'm actually showcasing, I might clear this off, is our glass mats. Which come Now I've got water in here with this silicone mat, and I've just put some water in there in case I've run out of water. I don't even know why I did that. I'm not even doing that project. Anyway, I don't need that. But anyway, this is a silicone mat. It doesn't slide on the glass. And you can put your refills in here if you want to colour, watercolour. And also it comes with, which I've already squirreled away in a half wood stamp case, this really good cleaning cloth. Now, you see it's stained. I've used it lots and lots. Rinses out. Doesn't matter how it looks. It's how it works, and it works amazing. Now, special thing about the glass mat is it is the only way at the moment that you can get the glass mat is if you would like to become a demonstrator and sign up for the starter kit. So it's a pretty good option because you get the glass mat, the cleaning cloth, and also the silicone mat on top of what you would normally get in your starter kit, which your starter kit comes in at $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product. So it's a pretty good bargain, and now you get, during celebration, this on top of it. Now you're going to probably be asking me, what's so special about a glass mat? Well, I've got to say, I have had a glass mat before and I didn't really know what to do with it. But as I've played with it, especially with colouring, I've kind of worked it out. And I just use it and use it and use it. Now, first thing I do is quite often, which I haven't done tonight, I write my measurements down here. So as I work out some measurements, I will then write in a whiteboard marker, not a Sharpie or an alcohol marker. I will write the measurements down here so that I don't lose track of them. But you'll see what I do when I'm actually colouring this. Now I'm going to be using blending brushes tonight, and I'm not sure whether you can see I've added a little bit of bling to this as well. Hi Julianne. Right. So I may do plainer, who knows? It always kind of, every card is different. So let's start on project 1. So I've got my basic card base, which I call it basic because I do the majority of my card bases this size. I am consistent with my card bases because then it makes it easy for me to work out the layers. And I posted on Facebook a couple of days ago a guide to layering and standard card bases, which you might find useful. So if you didn't get to see that, have a look, go back on some previous posts. It's only a couple of days ago. Anyway, this is 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's my card base in basic white, and this is 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to be working on this. Now I've got my large stamp set from the Enduring Beauty stamps. Oh, sorry, the large stamp from this Enduring Beauty stamp set. And I'm going to be using some Memento ink. Glenda says she's laminated the card size guide, which you posted. Well, thank you. It's good to know that it's being used. To be honest, I hadn't looked at it lately, and because I do so many tutorials, it made that conversion from centimetres to inches so much easier. I'm using Memento ink because I'm just going to be using blending. If I was using watercolouring, which I did have a play with some watercolouring tonight, I would be using StazOn. Hence why my stamp set is a little stained, because StazOn will stain your ink pad, won't hurt it in any way, but it will stain it. Now, this doesn't really matter which way you put this up, and I'll explain that why. Just I stamp this like that. I've inked it up well. I've made sure my memento is well inked. Now for me, there's a little, it's a leaf over here. I'm just not sure where's my, I've got all my new things here. They're so handy. This leaf here, I always like on the top, but that's just me. Doesn't matter. You get to choose. I'll peel this off. So it stamps beautifully, this stamp set, and it's very crisp, and I like that really clean look. Now I'm going to be using, I'll grab these and pull them over. I'm going to be using Lemon Lolly. I'm going to be using Soft Sea Foam, and to get the darker colour, I'm just shifting my next project out of the way, I'm going to be using the Daffodil Delight. Let's throw some of these out of the way and make some room. Right, so I've got the masks here, and I want to show you how to use them, because there's 5 of them, and you go, what do I do with 5? And they don't, like, they're not, when you first look at them, you go, how the heck do I line them up? Well, Stampin' Up have made it really easy, in 2 ways. You do just need to be careful, because some of these little pieces get caught. So I'll come back. They've done 2 things. They've got a little, well, probably 3 things. They've done a little notch here, and they've got a number 1. And I'm not sure you're going to be able, you can see the notch. Can I get that? You may not be able to see number 1, but you can feel it on one side and it's flat on the other side. You always want to make sure that the one you can feel number is on top. And you know that that then will sit on there, and you'll see how it all comes together. And that then goes there, and that goes there. But there's a bit of a secret to it, because when I stamped, I don't know how they line up with that. So I'm going to pull number 1 over, and I've just dropped something on the floor that I'm going to need. So I truly have no idea how this, whilst I say that's my favourite, I have to fiddle with this just a little bit to get this to line up. Oh, that was pretty easy, actually. But the first thing I'm going to do is put my paper down square, and I'm going to secure it. So I'm just grabbing some low tack tape. I've got this nice and square, and I'm just making sure you can see. Might slide that down, and I want to slide it over because I want this a bit of work space over here. So get this nice and straight. About there. I've got a whole lot of second-hand, well, I was going to say second-hand tape, but it's probably about fifth-hand tape, my tape. Well, so I just don't want this moving, and then I'm going to grab some more tape and secure this. So I'm lining it up. You can see the outline. I think you can see once it gets in nicely lined up. Then I'm going to grab some more tape. I dropped the tape I was going to use. So get some more of this tape. I want to make sure it's nice and clean. When I mean clean, that it lines up really well with the stamped image. It's not close enough. It's good enough. It's got to be pretty close. Now you can see, where's my, here it is. I'm going to take a pick tool. Some of these pieces, are, they're not held down by main bits. So you've got to just use your finger to hold them down when you're blending. That keeps it really nice finish. Now I'm going to grab my whiteboard marker. Now I've got my, oh, wait a minute. I've got my little edged side down here, but I'm going to be working on this. So I'm going to just draw a little block here, And then I know that all my other stencils that come are going to click in there, and my bottom right hand side down here where I'm pointing is where the notch is. So from now on it's going to be really simple. So my first one is going to be Lemon Lolly, and I've got my Lemon Lolly, whoops, got all this tacky tape everywhere. So I've got my Lemon Lolly blending brush. And if you've been scared of blending brushes, don't be, because they're so useful. Now, I've got lots of blending brushes in action tonight, but that's wholly and solely because I didn't want to rinse them out in between. But you don't need that many. So I've added a little bit of colour. For blending, you do need a bit of colour in your ink pad. There's not a lot in mine, obviously. I've been using it for a couple of things, actually. So there's not a lot of ink there, but let's go over here. Remember, I'm going to hold down the edges. Now, there's nothing technical about this. You can see it's pretty darn easy. Now, normally I'd work from here onto here, but this is such a light ink pad. It's not being an issue. You'll see what I do on the darker ink pads as we go through. You can decide how subtle or how fancy you want this. Just checking if you're still there. Who blends? Who likes blending? Or have you avoided it like the plague? Such a good way of getting more out of your ink pads and colours. Now I wanted this fairly subtle, so I don't want too much on there. So I've done that. I think you can see how that is working. So I then peel off just the top stencil. Put that away. Not too many ink pads open, so get rid of some. And you can see, I think you can just see, or maybe not. There's a bit of ink on that, so I'm just going to throw that away so it doesn't get all over everything. So I'm going to number 2, leaves. So I'm turning this around. I know that this is going to be up in that corner, and I know that my number 2 is in the bottom corner down here. So again, I'll stick this down. It's really, look, to be honest, I'm making this out a lot harder than it actually is. It's pretty simple. This time I'm going to be using the soft sea foam, so I went really subtle. Would have loved to have just do a blue one, but I didn't get to that. So this is my soft sea foam. It's got a little bit more colour. I didn't even re-ink it. You still can't even see it. I should have re-inked this in between, but that's okay. You'll see how this works. When there's not a lot of ink on it, it's pretty quick. There's not much blending required. And what I like about this is when you pull it off at the end, you're just going to go, wow, how did I do that? And everyone else is going to go, how did you do that? I like the cards where other people go, whoops, how did that happen? So Kirsty's done some with me, and Glenda's using it a bit more. Well, I think after tonight, when you will see how easy this is, you can see how quick it actually is. And I wouldn't do 100 cards, so there's, I'll throw that one away as well. And then we're coming to number 3. Now I know that this is going to go down the corner. That's going to go up there. Make sure my 3's on top. Now you still have to do a bit of juggling to make sure that this lines up, because whilst it's not a perfect way, but you can move it around, just see how it should line up. And it's pretty easy. You will just see some things that make it very obvious, and I think Stampin' Up! Do that on purpose. So I'm going to be bringing the, oh no, I'm not. I thought I was going to use the same blender, which I could because this is a darker colour, but no, I used the little one. I remember why, because this is a little finer. So the small blending brushes work a little better. Let's just stick this down. As I said, it's low tack. Now this one you'll see how much colour it adds. Now I don't want a lot of colour, so I can spread it out on the glass, and that's where the glass comes in handy. And I can just roll it onto here, and I'll get a very smooth finish. If I need to pick up more, I can go back to my ink pad. But I don't want that really ugly I don't know, grainy finish. I want a nice smooth finish. You can see I've added a lot of colour there, maybe more than I wanted to, but we'll see how it looks when I take this off. So I'm going to grab my little cleaning cloth and just clean that up. That's how easy it is. And then I've got, because my cleaning cloth's fairly wet, I've actually got a little rag here, an old pair of pajamas. Everything gets kind of recycled in my house if I can. I know. I'll bring that over. So now you can see the detail coming through. And then we're coming back with, there's my 4. So this is going to go up there. I'll line it up. Then I just have to line up those leaves. Now, all on this one, number 4, all I'm doing is lining up the veins of the leaf. And I'll grab my pokey tool again. It's got stems here, and they're the perfect things to work out where your stencil sits. If you line up those stems, you are going to be fine. So I'll stick this down again. I'm going to, I think I just used just looking for my soft sea foam. I think I just did soft sea foam again. Can't remember now. That's probably why the Mossy Meadow was on my table. I probably did the Mossy Meadow. Anyway, I'll pick up a lot more colour this time because this is a contrast. So the first layer was light. So I'm using the same colour, but because it's got more colour on it, it's going to go darker, which makes it perfect. Now, on this one, I'm not trying to really blend it off the thing because there's such small spaces on that it doesn't matter on this bit whether it's grainy or not. So you'll see what just using the same ink pad twice will give you a change. So doesn't that look great? So that's just using the same colour more than once, which is great if you're just looking for a darker colour. Hi Nat, how are you? Lovely to see you. Righto. So I'm coming here, lining it up again in that corner. Now this one I always find just that little harder to add some contrast to. And I think there's a number of choices on this. And I'll grab my pokey tool. Oh, that's not the right one. This is my right one. So there's some lines here and one here that line up exactly where you want it. If you've got those right, you're probably going to be exactly where you want to be. So that's where I want to be. And to be honest, it does not have to line up perfectly because it just adds a little bit more character. Now I'm going to be adding some more. I did the first one, I don't know what colour I did the first one. Oh no, I did it in Daffodil Delight. So I'll grab my Daffodil Delight again. And you can see this is bright. Again, it's just small pieces, so it's just adding that. Oh, I just want to clean up my desk. So, oh no, there we go. That's how quick and easy it is. So I'll clean that up. Put those aside. I'm going to need those again, so I'm going to have to clean them. Clean this up. So how gorgeous does that look? I'll show you a little closer. Get rid of these. Otherwise, there'll be trouble as I mix them all a little later. And I'm going to clean off my desk because you know me. Now I've just got most of the ink off because I'm going to be using my cleaning cloth a fair bit. And I need it not too covered in ink. But I would normally just use my cleaning cloth on there. So just want to show you, oh, how gorgeous is that? And you can see it wasn't difficult once you know how, and it's certainly not overwhelming. So I've got to find my card base, which is here. I've got a bit of ink on here. Of course I do, you know me. I'm going to pop this up using some dimensionals. Oh no, I'm going to stamp. I want to show you something else. I either use grid paper or my glass mat, but I've got a long skinny sentiment here that says you are, I think, simply amazing. Is that what it says? You are simply amazing. And I want to line it up. Being long and skinny, it's pretty hard to keep straight. And if I put it on, it will probably turn out, I don't know whether you can see that, crooked. So the way I get mine straight is I pick one of these lines. I'm going to bring it down a little closer to me so I can actually see it. Not that I'm right on top of it anyway. I'll have to use a little bit of judgment. Now, to move it around, I always just, again, pick up my take a pick tool. Because my fingers, it sticks to my fingers, but the take a pick tool is a little easier. Using my, I've got this crooked as a dog's hind leg on the block. But for those that have been watching Christine and I, you know that she puts hers on at an angle, so this will be a nice little test for me. I'm just looking for my, oh here it is, Memento Black. Simple, simple stamp. I want to make sure I've got this at the right size, because quite often I'll cut these a little larger. And this one I'm going to put over here, depending on where you stamped on your cardstock, where you'd add. I meant to take that up a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be fine. So that stamp's really nice. Now that comes from the Hooray for Surprises, and this is going to be my go-to sentiment stamp set. Haven't used these other bits, but that's another night. So we've got that. Grab my these dimensionals. Have I got enough? So I just throw a couple. And see, now I'm putting more on. You're going to laugh at me like some of you have before, that I've got too many there. I always laugh at myself. I never know how many to put on. Some would only put 4 on that sheet, and then others would even put a lot more than me. So what do you, oh, that one took a little bit of the backing from the thing. My desk is so much tidier for lives since I bought that organizer that I posted the other day. absolutely love it because it's meant that I can reach everything and I can sit down, which I used to always stand up so I could grab everything. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right out. And we'll pop that up. There we go. Now I've got something else to show you. Now, so I've used the masks on here, but I could have done the blends. So that's actually using the blends. You can see it's a different finish altogether. Nowhere near as much detail with how I did the blending because I just did it really quickly. But I think this one's so much more dramatic. So which one do you like? Dimensionals on sale. Thank you, Kirsty. You were laughing at me. I hadn't read that. So which one do you like? The finish of the blends, same colours, lemon lolly and soft sea foam, or do you like the masks that have really added that, I think, drama? Now, I also, on that original card, as you know, they always warp once I start card making. Can't find my original card. I'll pop up. Oh, yeah. It's hidden on my desk somewhere. Righto. So, on the original, I actually added some bling to this, but I'm not going to do it on this one. So let's get started on card 2. Now I mainly do a little bit of card 2. Now I've actually done 2 of the images on this, so that doesn't take a long time, but I know you only have to see me do it once. Just using some baby wipes because they were the first thing I grabbed. So much for my recycling. Anyway, so I'll just clean these up. Now I could use my cleaning cloth, which would be what I go over these with. And some of these had a fair bit of ink on them. And my cleaning cloth, I don't want it to pick up the ink because I'm using completely different colours this time. Where's my cleaning cloth? The one you did just now. Thank you, Glenda. As I say, there's always 2 Glendas. Thank you, Glenda L. This is where the cleaning cloth comes in perfectly. So I'm going to layer these back in order. Now this time I'm doing a slimline card. But I am not stamping it first. So there's no outline. I'm just using the masks and nothing else. Grab my cloth that I'm sitting on. Dry things off a little bit. It's a lot easier when you're not going from one to the other. I'll turn these over. I'm assuming that they're probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So now I've got them in order. I've got my, threw that back where it belongs. I just threw it on the card I just made. Righto. So my pieces of paper, my cardstock is cut. If you want to make the card the same as this, at 8 1/4. So 8 1/4 by 7 3/8. Actually, I think it's 8 1/4 by 7 3/8. And the reason I did that is that's the width of our A4 cardstock. Then I've got so this is Berry Burst. I've got a piece of Pool Party, which is 3 7/8 by 7 5/8. I'll post these measurements tomorrow. And then my basic white layer is 3 3/4 by 7.5. So let's work on that. And I'm pulling some more colours over. So this time I'm using Berry Burst, one of my favourite new colours. Bubble Bath, Pretty Peacock. I've got to look at my card to see what colours I've done. So this is the Pretty Peacock, this is the Pool Party, this is the Berry Burst, and this is the Petal Pink. So let's show you how to do this one. I'll slide those back over out of the way. I'll keep the light on. And we're going to go with this. I'm going to keep my design over here. This time it doesn't matter, I don't have a stamp to line up. So all I'm lining up is this notch and the side. So again, I'm going to stick my cardstock down so it doesn't move, which just makes this whole process a little easier. Now normally, which I didn't do today, I would cut this layer bigger and cut it back down to the 3 3/4 by 7.5. That gives me a little bit of room to play. I'll cut this. Let's put this little bit here because I don't want this pattern. Now I'm going to bring this one back and I want to show you. Get rid of, oh no, I still need that. Is that these leaves drop down lower than this flower, so I need a bit of space down the bottom here. And there'll be maybe some running across here, but I'll keep my stencil nice and straight this time. I'm happy kind of there. You never know how this is going to, every time it's going to be slightly different. I'll stick that down there. I've got different paper again. Stick that there. And again, I'm going to, on this side, line up, get that cut square. So I know where all the layering is going to go on here. So my first layer is Pretty Bubble Bath. So you can see it's got a little bit more colour. I'm not sure you're getting that on the screen. But I don't want this. This is a big lot. I want this nice and subtle. So this one I will shade on. I'll pick up the ink. You can just about take all the ink off that desk. I don't want to go over here too much. I just want this subtle. There you go. Done. That's how quick this is. Throw that back over out of the way. My next one is this one, being number 2, just double checking. I know that these are up the top this time, so I'm aligning that up. Now again, you'll see it lines up with that pink there, the edge of the stencil and there. So it's pretty easy to line up this. And you've got to, as with everything I always say, you need it lined up in at least 3 places for it to be correct. And just stick these down. Oh, I moved that. Stick these down again. Make sure I've got it where I want it. Oh, that's easy. Grab a piece of this again. This time I'm using, get rid of that, I'm using the Pool Party. I didn't need to use a smaller brush on this. It was just that I only had small brushes left at this stage. Oh no, I'll put it over. Now I should have cleaned that off, which I will do. Just in case it wasn't, I don't think there was any there anyway. I think I'd used it all up. Now I find going around in circles works a little bit better. And I'll come across here. And again, I don't need a lot of colour. Don't want to overpower this. Oh, and I was going to, Actually wasn't going to do that this time. It's only, you can pick how many of the stencils you use. I didn't need to use all of them. I could have just used, could have left this one out actually. Anyway, I've used it now. I'm just going to show you how it would look differently. So how pretty is that? I'll line it up there. Just get it a little hard. When you play with it, you'll see how easy it is actually to line up, because it becomes obvious as soon as you put it down. My little washi tape here is getting beyond its use by date, I think. Now, I really don't even have to clean that up, but because I'm using a darker shade in the Pretty Peacock. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm using the Berry Burst. Nearly made a mistake. So this just highlights the flower. This would have been the perfect one to have a really small one. Now, I had lots of ink on here, so I don't even need any more ink. So you can see how quick this is. There's no, I didn't even need the ink. There we go. Clean it up. And look how that comes out. A little pile of, get rid of that. Now my second last one is this one. Line it up with that corner again. Then I just have to do that little bit of fiddling. And this is the one that you want to make sure there's your stems. So you want to make sure they're not overlapping anywhere. And it lines up with the leaves pretty easily. As I said, you need it lined up in more than one place. And when you're happy with it, and you just stick it down. Except I've lost all my, oh no, here's my sticky bits. That's not, oh yeah, that's going to work. So this time I'm using Pretty Peacock just to add that darker colour. I probably didn't need, I'm just keeping it out of the way of that. That's why you need, see how grainy that is up there? I don't want that, so I want to take some of that colour off. I'll spread it out a little bit, and I'll just gently apply it here. Simple. Blending. Nothing complex about it. Anyone can do it. As I said, I'll take that off. So that adds that drama, I think, to this. That I've got ink pads everywhere here. Now I've got one more stencil, and I'm going to change this up actually. On the first one I used grey granite. This time I'm going to go back, just making sure I get this where I want it. I'm going to, moved it, didn't I? I'm going to do the Berry Burst again. Now remember, I've got a lot of ink on here, so it'll double up where I already had the Berry Burst, and we'll see which one you like better. sometimes you've got to play with these colours to see which one works out. Now, big blending brush, sometimes you've got to work it into those little holes to make sure you get good coverage. There we go. So now I want you to tell me, I want to keep those fingers nice and clean. So I'll bring back the original. I can find my original. Here's my original. So I think I like the Berry Burst. Which one do you like? Masks give better dimension. The one you did now. I agree. I think it certainly adds drama. But how easy was that? No stamping, just using the masks. And how nice did that come up with just some different inks that coordinated. So let me know. Now, if you were doing it, which technique do you like the best? The one with the stamp or the one without the stamp? Now, so on this card, I would just repeat the pattern. I would have done them both together. I just wanted to keep this really simple. Now, what I'll probably do, because I know I'm probably not going to finish this off, is I'll cut this down, layer it up, and add it to a standard card base. So I'll clean this up with my cleaning cloth so I can take off the mark with the mark with the where the stencil sat. Dry this off because I don't want anything to get ruined at this stage of the day. I'll bring back my card. So there's, and I put on You Make Me Smile. Now, whilst it's a slimline card going that way, that sentiment going that way just worked for me as the better design. Now, I've still got, here's my card. There's my, no, it's the card I just did. This is the one that I blended. This is the really plain card. As I said, I still can't find my original card. I don't know, it's walked off my desk. No, one fell on the floor. No, don't know where it went. Anyway, this is what happens when you work in a very small area to work things out. Now, I just want to... so which card? You've got a choice of 3. Well, you've got probably a choice of 4, but I think you voted for this one before, so I will put that one aside. So you have a choice of this card. You know now how to do it. This card in the Berry Burst and Bubble Bath, which colours go together fabulously. The one in the Lemon Lolly, which is so pretty. I'm falling in love with Lemon Lolly. I didn't see, it's a neutral colour, but it works so well. And I was so sad to see So Saffron go, but I think this one, I even like Lemon Lolly a little bit more. So if we've got any comments here for which ones you like, remember I still send out cards every week randomly to those who comment. The middle one, and Kirsty makes a very sound comment. The masks are amazing, but you definitely need to tape them down so they don't move, and that is 100% right. If they move, you're kind of a goner, and that's why I tape down both the card and card base, the card layer, and also the stencils. Doesn't have, I mean, if you're gentle, you don't have to have them glued like strict, really toughly tied down, but you definitely do need to tape them down. So Kirsty, she likes this one. So Glenda likes this one. So idea. Well, that's it for today. I will see you next week with another technique or product tutorial, and I'll post the measurements for this card. I mean, this card is such a basic card, but for this card as well. to tomorrow, and I'll post photos of the projects. And if you like this video, I'll just a minute. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. If you like my projects, don't forget to subscribe. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Sorry, I just cut me out. If you like my projects, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook so you don't miss out on anything. So thanks very much. Really appreciate you dropping by and joining us today. Have a great day. Enjoy the week. Bye for now.